the other thing that it is coming to the fore this week is the latest hearing. Jen mentioned the Willard room as a possible bridge. Do you have any expectations that we'll be hearing about Roger Stone or that part of the whole operation, or what in general are you thinking we're going to be seeing from the committee come Thursday?
To quote the 1980s science fiction movie, The Last Starfighter, I hope they go out in a big death blossom. Fire every missile at once, because I think you're not going to get another bite of this apple.
Like the closing Olympic ceremonies.
Yes, you need it. You need it to be big, noisy, messy, loud, painful, and you need to get it into that cycle where you are showing America this freak show of weird conspirators and violent extremists, and Roger Stone and Alex Jones and Ali Akbar and Stuart Rhodes and all the other people that were and Steve Bannon, who were the mechanics of this attempted coup. And I think the committee needs to really blast out as much data and information as they can, because the truth of the matter is, this is America. People are going to remember what they see on the hearing on television, or what they see on YouTube later, more than they're going to read a 9,000-page report. I hope that we end up with enough leads and revelations that continues the media cycle of going after these people and exploring what happened. Because, as Jen mentioned, the Willard seems to have been a hub of a lot of this activity. We don't know everyone who was in that room, but we're going to have a lot more data, I think, once the committee talks, if they'll talk about it. But those folks were in there engaged in what looks to this non-lawyer like a very active conspiracy to overthrow the 2020 election.
David, Jen, do you have any sort of suppositions about where they'll be going on Thursday? Because there is, everything that Rick said is right in terms of the final pyrotechnics, but they've also very successfully presented, freestanding chapters in every time to date. And if they don't have a new theme to apply and new revelations, will they risk falling flat?
Well, certainly there are strings that have been left, and including what happened to the Secret Service messages, including the connection between the White House and the Willard, including the funding of the January 6th gathering. We were promised at some point that was going to be forthcoming. To pick up on something that Rick said in a larger sense, I hope they have something that's worth having this hearing for. They have been very successful in making these exciting and controversial and adding a little mystery by withholding the name of critical witnesses. And it would be bad, I think, because I agree with Rick, 99% of this is sort of how much gets strained through to the public, if they kind of left on a whimper rather than with a bang. So I do hope that they have a few things still left to deal out. Jamie Raskin has said, perhaps in softer terms than before, yes, there are additional things that we need to tell you about. But I think we may kind of be reaching the end of the road here. And no pun intended to Stuart Rhodes. And I think now what happens is we'll get the report, and all of this stuff, remember, they've worked out a fair, I think, agreement on information sharing. Then all of this stuff goes over to the Justice Department, and that gets compiled with whatever Justice has. Now, whether the committee has things that the Justice Department doesn't, or is more illuminating, or even if they have witnesses who are now on record who they can box in because they said one thing to the committee and now they have those same witnesses before a grand jury, that will help the Justice Department's case. But I think in some sense, the January 6th committee has already accomplished its mission, which was to remind sane people that the rest of these people are dangerous and crackers, and that there is a certain element in the Republican Party, obviously swamped by the crazies, who are very nervous about that and are running with arms open to another crackpot being in Rick's backyard, being Ron DeSantis or somebody else who's going to supposedly rescue them from this person who they've never been able to push off the stage before.
Trump's core defensive weapon on the non-commercial fraud cases has been a threat that if the Department of Justice or anyone else comes after me about trying to overthrow the 2020 election on January the 6th, if they try to come after me about my mishandling of secret documents, the possible loss of secret documents, I agree with Jen that I think it's quite likely that Trump has lost track of them. If you've ever seen a photograph of Trump's private office or talked to anyone who's ever been in them, they're chaoses.
Rat's nest.
And so it's very likely that, I mean, maybe they've never been lost. Maybe they're just underneath an old Dunkin' Donuts cup of coffee, but very possible it's gone astray. But his defense was always, there will be trouble. I will mobilize my supporters. There will be violence. If the Republicans don't take the Senate because of Herschel Walker, because of Blake Masters, because of other people whom Trump has foisted on them, I don't know that the Army's going to rally. As Rick said, the check writers in the Republican Party want DeSantis. So far, the rank and file have remained loyal to Trump, but there is communication between check writers and DeSantis, and in particular, if the Republicans lose the Senate because of Georgia, which was very much Trump's personal project. I wonder if that Army shows up when he tries to summon it. And if the rest of the political system doesn't get a message, you know what, this guy, it's safe for the law to proceed. His ability to generate violence to protect himself from the law has diminished.
Yeah, or 24 sort of ragtaggers who, you just quickly hammer, bring the full force of the law down on.